Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Finn, and today I'm going to be doing an overview of the Boomkin in patch 6.2.2. This is a PvE guide type thing, and I'm going to be going over pretty much everything and showing you the way I play the Boomkin. So let's crack on. Okay, so the main thing about this spec is its unique energy bar, which is the lunar power and solar power. So if I just hit the dummy here, you can see that we've got this little thing down here that goes up and it goes over to the left side. And we get different buffs and different spells are more powerful on each side of the bar. Always keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure people watching this are used to the core mechanics of the Boomkin, but I'm just going to go everything. Okay, so the AI now. So my target is here. What I've got is a mod called Tell Me When. If I type /tell me when, I've got my little balance tracker, and it's the same as the one in LVUI, except it has numbers on it, so it tells you how long you've got left in each state. So I know how long it takes me to cast each one of my spells, and they're increased by Euphoria. So I know exactly my Starfire takes about 2.2 seconds, and my Wrath is like 1.7 normally, so you know I can judge just doing this. So there's some people that use the mod balance tracker. What's it called? I can't remember what the mod's called, but yeah, some people use that and it shows you where the end of your spell is gonna come out. But I find it easier to just judge it, because when you're in a raid, you're not watching the thing that tells you when it's gonna come out the whole time. You need to focus on your movement and not standing and shit, pretty much. So I like to use this, just a small indicator, and then I have my big 2 dots. Now they do come up above the target, but I like to have a kind of big indicator that I don't have to look at to know if it's up or not. So when I'm fighting, I know, like there, I know one of my dots up. I'm not even looking at it, but I can see it in the corner of my eye, so I can see it's up, and I really like to have that. And I can link in the description some videos that tell you how to set up your Tell Me When if you want, but it's not that complicated really. So there you go, I can see I've got my 2 dots up. I don't even need to look at it, I can just see my UI is kind of more full, and therefore I know that I've got my dots up. I can also look here if I want to see how long there's left, but you know, I like to have that kind of setup. Apart from that, I've got my things here, and then the rest of my UI is pretty standard. Up here is my raid chat. Oh, I got a whisper. And down here is my normal chat. That's pretty much it. I've got my DPS down here. You know, it's pretty simple UI, but there you go. So I'll catch you guys in the DPS rotation. Okay guys, so now I'm going to give you a quick overview of the talents I use for raiding in HFC. So, I'm not going to go over the other ones, I'm just going to go over the ones I use, because I think this is the best talent setup. So, here we go. 15 tier, always go for Displacer Beast. It's the most useful thing in, like, your whole kit. So, I have it on a button on my mouse to the right, and it's just a blink with a speed increase to it, and you can just get out of so many sticky situations with it. It's the most useful thing. Say you're like got chains on Archimond or on Zool and you need to get out of it real quick, Displacer Beast. Very, very, very useful. So always go for that one. Level 30 tier, Yasuo's Gift, no question about it, it's just the best. 4% of your maximum health every 5 seconds, and it heals other people if you're at full health, so really useful. 45, Mass Entanglement, definitely. The others need you to be in melee, apart from Fairy Swarm, but Fairy Swarm is useless. It's really bad, so never use that. Level 60, Soul of the Forest and Incarnation are your 2 choices for here. Soul of the Forest is a passive single target DPS increase. It's really good for just if you're going to be single targeting. But Incarnation increases your damage by 15% for 30 seconds on a 3-minute cooldown. It's basically a massive cooldown that you line up with Celestial Alignment. Haha, you line it with Celestial Alignment. Hey! But yeah, so you can burst really, really powerfully with these. I've kicked about 100k if I use these 2 together. So either these 2, I normally use Incarnation. 75, choose whatever the fuck you want. I go for Ursul's Vortex because it's the only one here that doesn't require you to be in melee range. Like you have a 5-second stun, but you need to be in melee range, so you can pretty much choose whatever you want here, but I go for this one because you don't have to be in melee range. Level 90 tier, I go for Dream of Scenarios because it fits into your rotation like perfectly. So when your Sunfire and Moonfire are on their peak, they heal. And normally you only apply these dots when you're at the maximum, when you're at the peak, so it just slots into your rotation perfectly. So Dream of Scenarios, you could go for Nature's Vigil, but I have no idea how it works. Euphoria, now this one is definitely the best one on this tier, I'd say. Your cycle time is reduced by 50%, and your cast time of Starfire and Wrath, when they're empowered by Star Surge, is reduced by 20%. So what this means is on each side you only have enough time to cast one Star Surge, 2 Starfires, and the dot. And on the right side it's exactly the same thing. So what this means is that you're always, your spells are always benefiting from a 20% cast time reduction. So this is definitely the best thing here. Next up is glyphs. I'm going to go over these really quickly. They're not the most important thing ever. So this one increases your health by 10% when in Moonkin form instead of bonus armor. You know, makes sense. Glyph of Rebirth, players resurrected, return to life with 100% health. That's really good. And Glyph of the Shape Mender. Now what this does is it has some synergy with Displacer Beast. What it does is when you shapeshift, you're healed for 5% of your maximum health. Now when you use Displacer Beast, you're activating Cat form and the blink and the speed. So what this does, let me just say here. Oh god, caps. So this means that you can blink out of something, get a little heal, and then you turn back into Moonkin and you get another heal. So in raids, this heals for 10% of your maximum health, and it's just a really useful little heal when you need to get out of some shit. So this is my setup for my talents and my glyphs. And yeah, so let's rock on into the DPS rotation. Okay guys, okay. We're finally at the DPS rotation part you've probably been waiting for, but yeah, okay. So, okay. So the core mechanics of the Boomkin are lining up your Star Surges and then using the spells that your Star Surge empowers. So. What you want to do, you've got this target, okay. Your opener is going to be Star Surge, Starfire, Moonfire. No, hang on, what am I talking about? Your opener is going to be Star Surge, 1 Starfire, and then that should leave you at 100 Lunar Power if you've taken the talent Euphoria, which you should. And then once you're at 100, you apply Moonfire, and then you cast another Starfire, and that should bring you to about here. And then you start casting a Wrath because your spells benefit from which side they are when they're released, not when you start casting them. So if you start casting it here, but the spell is only sent out when it's here, then it will get the benefits from being here. Okay? So your opener is going to be, hang on, let me take off my class trinket because that, yeah, it's going to attack everything. Okay, so you want to go Star Surge, Starfire, and then you see I should be at 5, there we go. Then you do Moonfire, another Starfire, and then you're rocking over into Wrath, and then you do Star Surge. You get 3 Wraths, you do 2 Wraths, apply Sunfire, another Wrath, and then you cast a Starfire, Star Surge, Starfire, Moonfire, Starfire, Wrath, Star Surge, Wrath, Sunfire, Wrath, Starfire, and so on and so forth, okay? So you want to be watching this at all time. You always want to apply your dot every single time. That will be your filler. And sometimes there's a little gap here where you don't really need to cast anything, and you can use that to move in a fight. So here I am doing the normal rotation. You can watch my cast bar if you want. but I'm just using Star Surge. There we go. Starfire. So your Star Surge empowers 2 Starfires. This is a second Starfire. And then you go over into Wrath, Star Surge. That empowers 3 Wraths. So you do 2 Wraths, and then you do the dot, and then 1 last Wrath, and then you want to do a Starfire. And then Star Surge, Starfire. You apply the dot. You want to do Starfire again. And then you've got a little space here. You move, you do a Wrath, Star Surge, and then 2 Wraths, and then 1 last Wrath and a Starfire. And that is your core rotation, okay? I hope that gave you a quick image of it. Now, I don't know what else to start on. So that's your core rotation. You're going left to right. You're playing your dot whenever it's at 5. That's why I've got this Tell Me When add-on that shows me the time each cycle takes, and when it's in the middle, I apply when it's on 5 seconds, I apply what's it called? The dot on each side. And as soon as you're on either side, you want to use Star Surge, which is on my keybind over here, and then follow that up by on Lunar side, you want to do 1 Starfire. It's called one Starfire, a dot, and then another Starfire, and that should bring you back to the beginning. And then on the other side, you want to do Star Surge, 2 Wraths. You want to apply the dot, 1 other Wrath, and then you want to start casting Starfire to land about here, and then you do the same rotation that you did with the Lunar side. So that is the core rotation right now. And on an old target dummy, I'm getting about 77k DPS, 770k DPS. I'm currently item level, if I use my class trinket, I'm item level 719 right now. So, yeah, I think I've got the good stats, and this is how the class is meant to be played. So, yeah. Now, we can go over your other spells. That is your core rotation, that's your single target rotation, and that's the one you're going to be using most of the time. Now, if you want to be doing AoE, first thing I recommend is you get your class trinket from Archimond. I got mine Heroic Warforged on Archie. I was super lucky. So what that does, as a boomkin, your Star Surge has 96% chance to also trigger Starfall. That means every time I cast Star Surge, I also get Starfall. So it's basically the biggest damage boost in the game for a class trinket, I'd say. Because what it does is you can just focus on your single target DPS, which does a shit ton, and it does your multi-target DPS at the same time. So without the trinket though, what you'd want to do is you'd want to hit, say you have like 3 targets here. You want to hit one with a dot, you want to cast Astral Communion, and that will whiz you over into what's it called, Solar. You want to apply your Sunfire to apply the dot to everyone, and then hit Sunfall or Starfall, and then you want to keep using your Sunfall the whole time, and keep up your Sunfire on your targets. And that is the core multi-target rotation. You can also chuck in a Hurricane or Astral Storm if you have the glyph. And this does tiny damage, it's barely noticeable, but it is actually a DPS increase if there's a lot of mobs. I think it's like 5 or more mobs, it's a DPS increase rather than doing a single target. But basically you want to dot everything up, keep up Starfall or Sunfall, and yeah, that's your multi-target DPS. Now with me, with my class trinket, all I need to do is, hang on, let's say my fucking pet things. That's also my bonus, my set bonus. Your Moonfire and Sunfire have a chance to summon Fairy Dragon to assist you in battle. So dotting things up summons these guys, and they do like 5k per attack, and I don't know how many attacks per second. So it is a boost, but I haven't got the full set, and the full set increases your damage by 6% for every Fairy Dragon summoned, and you can have like 5 Fairy Dragons summoned at the same time, so you know, it's pretty good. It's like a 30% damage increase. So yeah, so here you go. Say we're starting on a raid, on a raid boss, your opener would be, let me choose Incarnation. You want to do Incarnation, you want to do 1 Star Surge, and then you want to do Celestial Alignment. You apply your dot, and because you've got a Celestial Alignment, it'll apply both dots. And then you want to use 2 Starfires, another Star Surge, 2 Starfires, another Star Surge, as many as you can. And then your Celestial Alignment's going to run out, and you're going to start going back into your normal rotation. So here we go. You want to do Incarnation, you want to do Starfire, Celestial Alignment, dot, and then you want to do 2 Starfires, you want to do another Star Surge, you want to do 2 Starfires, and you can see with my trinket I'm also getting Starfire out of this. And now my Celestial Alignments run out, and I'm going back into my normal rotation. So we can head back into Wrath here. And there we go, I got a proc for my Starfire, Star Surge I mean. You want to keep doing your normal rotation. Sometimes if you don't get 2 Wraths in before you do the dot, you can just do 1 Wrath and then the dot and then 2 Wraths afterwards. But this is your core rotation, and you can see that Starfire, when it's fully buffed out, it hits like a fucking truck. Like on Gorefiend, it hits for about 400k, and in old world content, it hits for about 2 million. So yeah, this is your core rotation basically, and you can see I'm kicking about 900k DPS on an old world target. And yeah, this is only about 2 targets for my dots and my Sunfall, which is constantly going because it's part of my normal rotation. So yeah, that's pretty much your core rotation right there. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I managed to explain the class to you a little bit. But yeah, this was my guide to the Boomkin. A couple of things I forgot to go over is glyphs. You always want Glyph of Untamed Stars. It's really useful, just need to learn how to use it to not wipe everything. I also wanted to go over the stats. Your stat priority will be Mastery. I have about 80% Mastery. I don't know what's good, but that's pretty good. Crit's really good, to be honest. Crit is really, really good. So your main stats are Mastery and Crit. I think 20% is about good on Crit. And Mastery, 75% and plus is good, I think. I like to have a lot of haste because it increases your spell cast time, reduces your spell cast time, and it allows you to have more time between casting spells in your cycle time. It gives you more free time where you can move and reposition yourself. So that's why I like to have a bit more haste than I'm supposed to, but there you go. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, here we go. This was my guide of the Druid, the Moonkin Balanced Druid in 6.2. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will catch you some other time. Peace, peace.